Go on, have another drop.
No, thanks. This stuff goes straight to my head. Is there any lemonade of that?
This stuff cost £18 a bottle. Do you mind? You can't mix this with lemonade.
Just a drop.
Okay.
I hope this doesn't go on the bill.
How could you suggest such a thing? Well, that's David Fox, isn't it? Who's that chap with him?
Harry McLeod.
Aha. Mr. Finance Director. About time I introduced myself.
Oh, they tell me this computer thing is actually about to happen.
I believe there's a very great danger of it.
Crowning moment of a formidable career.
I'm just glad to see it up and running, that's all. I was getting a bit worried about it at one stage.
Funny you should say that.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's just my back. Plays me up now and then.
Well, you ought to get it looked at. You know, I've got a very good osteopath.
Excuse me, gentlemen. May I offer you a drop of this? Oh, my name's Jevons, by the way. Universal Systems, PLC.
How do you do?
Well? Aren't you going to say something?
What would you like me to say?
Something like, well, we got there in the end.
Well, we did, didn't we? I'm not quite sure how we managed it, though. Funny things, finance committees. It seems easier to get 5 million out of them than 5,000.
So, what happens now? Shouldn't you flip switches or whatever it is you do?
Oh, well, there aren't any switches to flip, really. It's all been running on a test basis for 3 months now.
Bit of an anticlimax, isn't it?
Well, we have arranged a little something in honour of the occasion, you might say. Just a little message we thought we could send round to every terminal in the building.
It's electronic mail with graphics.
Oh, I see.
So, if you, Mr. Fox, would like to just press that key there.
Well, this one here.
Yes. Then return that one there.
Yeah.
That's it. We should get in a few seconds. Yes, there we are.
That's very good.
Look at this. Have you seen This is the new specification.
What? Another 2 megabytes of CPU? I don't believe it. They can't do this to me.
Well, there's two sorts of options. There's the centralized approach and there's the distributed approach.
How much would it cost?
Well, it's hard to say exactly. It would depend on your requirements.
Ballpark figures.
Well, you're talking millions, of course.
How many? 1, 2, 5, 10?
Well, a fully automated system, a terminal on every desk with a basic suite of functions. You're talking near 5.
That's a lot of money. Where did Jackie put my diary? I wish people would organise themselves.
You're very busy today.
So are you.
Look, do you know, roughly speaking, how much you spend a year keeping this lot going?
20 million? Maybe 25 this year.
Right. Centralized order processing. For all branches, all goods. Centralized distribution. Automate your sales ledger. Electronic mail, word processing. You're talking of across-the-board savings of 25%.
5 million.
There you are, payback within a year.
Very neat.
Well, look, even if it's not quite as good as that, it's got to be worth it. Amco have done it. BTOC, Allied Industries, all large competitors.
Yes, I know who they are.
Well, they can't all have got it wrong. And won't do your reputation any harm. The person who finally cracked the nut of clerical inefficiency.
Thank you. But I don't need you to assess my promotion prospects.
Hello? Yes, Jan. Look, I'm a bit busy at the moment. Can you ask her to come back this afternoon? Oh, never mind. She's just walked in. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, John.
Is it urgent? Fact is, I'm in a bit of a tizzy at the moment.
I was wondering if you'd had a chance to look at my draft proposal.
Oh, the office automation project.
That's the one.
Not really. I've only glanced at it.
What did you think?
Pretty ambitious was my first impression. Look, can I get back to you when I've had a chance to study it? I really am right up to here in it at the moment.
Trying to sort out your upgrade problem?
How did you know about that?
Oh, I have my spies out.
I'm sure. I don't understand it. I could have sworn I'd allowed for enough contingency.
Finance committee aren't going to like it. Second request in 2 years. And of course, Mr. Jevons will make you pay through the nose for it.
I expect so.
You're pretty well locked into their equipment, aren't you?
You trying to cheer me up?
I was thinking. As a matter of fact, I might be able to help you out.
Oh, yes. Find me a loaded revolver, perhaps.
Not necessary. I imagine a system like that would call for a considerable increase in computer resources.
System like what?
The office automation scheme.
Oh, we're back on that, are we?
In which case, the small matter of an upgrade would be dwarfed in comparison.
Barbara, am I hearing you? Are you suggesting we pull a fast one over the finance committee?
Don't be silly, John. All I'm saying is this. Should you find the scheme a viable one, you might then support me at the finance committee.
It's conceivable.
Should the finance committee approve the scheme, it would hardly seem necessary to broach the subject of an upgrade. I mean, the upgrade is all part of your conventional requirements, which in themselves would be transformed by the new system. Am I right?
There is a grain of truth in what you say.
Might save you unnecessary embarrassment. That's all.
Nice of you to think of me.
Of course, it would depend 100% on the fact that after careful objective study you found the scheme a viable one.
Of course.
The rest would merely be a happy coincidence.
You amaze me, Barbara.
I'll call back, shall we say, Thursday. In the meantime, I suggest you stop searching and start studying.
Now I'd like to move on to the last item on the agenda. It's really time we made a decision about this office automation proposal. Ask them to come through, would you?
Computers. Nearly lunchtime, isn't it? Anybody would think we were in the computer business, the amount of money we spend on them.
Ah, come in. Sit down. I've asked Mr. Franks and Ms. Mitchell to come along today to answer any questions anybody may have. And Mr. Blythe has asked to come along since service is unlikely to be unaffected by any decisions we make. Oh, by the way, David Fox sends his apologies. He's been called away to the chairman's office this morning, but I shall be reporting to him directly on the outcome of this meeting. Now, you've all had a copy of the general proposal, I presume? I propose we get down straight away to asking any questions. Anyone?
Only the question that's on all our lips, I think. It's bloody expensive. Yeah. I mean, is it really necessary to spend that much?
The point is we're going for an integrated approach.
Yes, I know. But can't we knock them down a bit? Have we put it up for competitive tender?
Mr. Franks?
I'm afraid that wouldn't do much good. You see, no other supplier can give us plug-compatible equipment. It would mean throwing out all our mainframe equipment. With conversion costs, that would probably work out a lot more expensive. I'm afraid it's the way the computer world works.
We anticipate that we shall recoup the investment within a year, in terms of savings in overheads.
Cutting costs? Oh, now that sounds good.
Have you any way of proving that?
We've done some considerable cost justification studies with the suppliers. They're on page 16 of your appendix.
Mr. Franks, you're the technical man. Do you think this money's worth spending?
Well, from a technical point of view, I can see no particular problem.
I've got a question. What about my subscriber's maintenance system that I never got? While you lot are devising all sorts of bells and whistle systems, my stuff is still using punch cards.
I can see no reason why we can't put that up on the new system. It's a distributed
Yes,
approach.
but when? I mean, does it mean waiting another 2 years?
Come off it, Tom. You're never far down the queue when it comes to resources.
Oh, so you thought you jumped the queue, did you, Barbara?
And of course, telecoms keep telling me they need a new switchboard. Apparently, the Victoria and Albert have an option on our present one.
Now, everybody. Tom, with the greatest respect, I don't think we're discussing your computing requirements. This is a proposal in hand. We should judge this on its merits first, don't you think?
Well, frankly, I think it's too much money to risk, just like that.
I agree. I think it's completely over the top, as far as I'm concerned. An ego trip.
Any response to that, Miss Mitchell?
Firstly, on the question of risk. Of course it's a risk. In business you take risks all the time. What can I say? We've done our sums very carefully. And what about the risks on the other side? The risks of sitting back doing nothing while your competitors computerize their offices. You know Allied Industries have just announced a similar scheme this week? That could cost them millions, but it could save them millions too. This time next year they could be undercutting us by 20%. On the question of my ego, let me say this. If it's egotism to want the most effective sales department in the country, then yes, I'm an egotist. All I can say is this. Take a walk around this place. Old-fashioned systems, paper systems, a clumsy, creaking bureaucracy. It's costing us $25 million a year to keep that going. The proposal before you offers a 20% savings on that bill. 20%. A leaner, fitter clerical sector. That's a big prize. That's a hell of an opportunity to throw down the drain.
Who are they? Programmers. Programmers? For this new system thing they're bringing in. Haven't you heard about it? Yeah. Bill says they're getting £1,000 a week each.
1,000?
Just so they can do us out of a job.
Who says that?
It's obvious. That's what computers are for.
How's the family, by the way?
Oh, fine. My wife's leaving me, the cat's already left, and the Building Society are foreclosing on the mortgage.
Usual sort of thing.
That's right. Oh, by the way, on the subject of impossible financial burdens...
You've got our revised schedule.
I don't suppose this could be your idea of a joke, could it? Or perhaps your secretary added an extra naught?
I'm afraid not, John. The original quote was based on the original spec. Since then, you've added to your software spec.
You don't have to tell me that. Mr. Franks, wonder if you could spare me a minute?
pain in my back, Barbara.
Is that what you wanted to see me about?
In a way, yes. I always get this shooting pain when things start going wrong. With some people it's their bunions, with me it's my back.
It's not unusual for budgets to be revised, Harry.
This'll cost more than Trident by the time it's finished.
I think you may be exaggerating.
I'll tell you one thing. If I give this to the full board, your credibility goes right out of the window. As it is, I think you make a very good sales manager.
Nice of you to say so.
It'd be a shame to lose you. The board aren't worried about fine details. After all, they just want to see it come in on target. And so do I.
So what are you proposing?
Just a few discrete strategic cuts.
What sort of cuts?
I've been doing a bit of homework on this document. This online customer database. It's terribly expensive. Do we really need it? Surely inquiries could still be handled at branch level. And that can go for a start. Far too expensive. And that. And that. There you are. Back on schedule.
Tom, could you spare me a moment?
Yes, of course, David. What can I do for you?
Well, just tying up a few loose ends, really. It's a silly little thing, but I was wondering if you could take over that MenCap Sports Day business. I mean, you know we sponsor their sports day every year. It's something I'd like to keep on. It doesn't cost much, and it's a good cause.
Yes, of course, David.
Will you talk to them, then?
Yes, I will. By all means.
Fine. Well, that's another little weight off my mind. Sally will fix you up with all the details.
Right.
Haven't you thrown that lot out yet?
What, out your old personal computers? Not on your life. They've got all our stuff on them.
But I thought our new system was supposed to do all that.
It was. The fact is, I got fed up of waiting, so I went out and bought this little lot on petty cash. Well, almost. Best investment I ever made. Wrote the program myself, with a little bit of help. Want to have a look?
No, I believe you.
Wonderful things, computers.
Yes, I know. We've just spent £5 million on one, and you're not using it.
I know. Joke, isn't it?
Hello, complaints department.
I'm still waiting for the installation. I was promised it last week, and nothing's happened yet. Can you tell me what the delay is?
Promised by somebody from your department on the phone, in fact, 2 weeks ago, that it would be installed by now. It's lying around. It's of no use to me like it is.